Our habits are what make us who we are. We humans are creatures of habit, and the habits we pick up in our childhood and teenage years stick with us. These can be good habits, but sometimes they can also be bad ones that we become accustomed to. Our personalities and way of thinking are entirely shaped by what we do every single day. Habits are not limited to what we eat when we wake up or what our daily routine is. These are important, but habits also include the people we spend time with, the kind of TV shows and content we watch, etc. Oftentimes, people who have bad habits can feel stuck and believe that they will never be able to escape. This is what this book is about. No matter how bad your habit is, you can convert it to one that is healthy for you. You could be a foodie, a shopaholic, an alcoholic, a person attracted to toxic relationships, or struggle with anything else that you know is bad for you, but feel you are unable to overcome. My first message to you is this: do not be ashamed or embarrassed about that habit. There is a reason for it, and that's what you will be equipped to address by reading this book. My name is Addison Cameron. I live in Boston, Massachusetts with my husband and 2 kids, and 2 Labrador retrievers. I'm a board-certified nurse practitioner who loves caring for patients in the urgent care setting. I also teach undergraduate nursing at a local university. I was inspired to write this book by my own personal struggle with smoking. What started as a social activity quickly became an everyday bad habit. After many failed attempts, I was finally able to give it up. I remember my struggles and how difficult it was for me to try to change, only to fail at the end of each day. I don't want anyone else to go through that, so I decided to write a book designed to be a helping hand for you in your journey. Through this book, it's not just the old habits that I want to help you eliminate. I also want to help you increase your productivity and earning potential, and to help you create a healthy work-life balance to improve your overall quality of life. To change a bad habit, we have to first go into the core of the root cause of this bad habit. We have to first understand the triggers and traumas that are causing us to become dependent on them. For instance, emotional eating is a very common bad habit. There are many people who tend to overeat or who routinely eat junk foods such as pizzas, ice creams, and chocolates whenever they are upset about something. People who struggle with emotional eating do this because afterward they feel better. Of course, this is because eating sugary foods like chocolates and ice cream causes the brain's mesolimbic dopamine system to activate, and dopamine, the happy hormone, releases. A person who is sad, anxious, or even depressed will unknowingly become addicted to this sugar rush and soon make it a habit. Because of this, the next time this person goes through a similar stressful period, they again depend on these sugary snacks to make themselves feel better. There is science behind bad habits, and once we understand our reasons for doing what we do, we will be able to look at our lives from a broader perspective. I also feel that people underestimate the power of habits. Good habits can make a person, and bad ones can break them. Let's take the emotional eating example from above. For our example, let's use the example of Katie. Katie is suffering from anxiety and stress. Now, Katie does not really have anyone to depend on. Instead, she finds comfort in food. Katie binge eats every day and soon starts to gain weight. This makes her feel even more anxious and leads her to consume more. It becomes an endless cycle. And now Katie has reached a place where her anxiety has not been fixed, she has become unhealthy, and these 2 things combined have also ruined her self-esteem and confidence. This in turn has directly affected her career and relationships. Katie didn't know a bowl of ice cream every day would do all of these things to her, but it did. This is not an uncommon story. Obesity is a common struggle, and lots of people try their hardest and still fail because of food addiction. In later chapters, we will go into detail and see how these habits can affect our health, careers, and even relationships. There is a consequence to everything that we do, and the good things we do will make us happier and more positive. A person who pushes themselves and exercises every day will be happier and more self-confident than a person who doesn't, because the person who exercises knows that they are in control of themselves and that they are actively making their life better. Teenagers who get into drinking and drugs lose out on their childhood and even get negatively impacted in their future careers. They don't realize it at the time, but these bad habits can take over a person's life. Even a person at the top of their class can become the lowest because of a bad habit. This is because their energy is entirely focused on the bad habit instead of building a better life. Bad habits are like energy vampires, and we have to protect ourselves from them. In this book, we not only will explore what bad habits are and how they form, but we also look at developing solutions and understanding how to successfully break these bad habits, develop new, positive habits, and achieve goals. A person who can get out of a bad habit becomes a more self-confident, high-functioning individual. When you get out of a bad habit, your stress reduces, your anxieties disappear, and productivity increases. You get a fresh, positive perspective on life and become a generally happier person. The best part is that there's no one way to break bad habits. There are multiple ways, and you can choose the one that you resonate with the most. In the book, we will look at many of these techniques, such as visualization, mindfulness, and self-reflection, as well as mental and physical exercises to help you kick those bad habits out of your life forever. Chapter 1: The Science of Habits. You might have noticed that the older people get, the more rigid they are in their opinions and habits. This is because they have lived their lives in a certain way and have become accustomed to it. They have surrounded themselves with people who match these habits, and to change them would mean a lot of discomfort and inconvenience. Most people in the world are like this. This chapter will tap into what habits are, how they form, and how they can impact our lives. If we all strive to change our bad habits and try to become better versions of ourselves, then the world would be in much more harmony. The habit loop. The habit loop is all about the process of how habits are formed and how they can be changed. There can be many reasons why a habit forms: your current state of mind, the people you surround yourself with, your work routine, or your location. There are 3 components of the habit loop. The trigger. The first step to breaking a bad habit is to first understand its trigger. Let's understand this better with a few examples. Jim is currently going through a breakup. Jim got cheated on, and this pushed him into a deep, dark place emotionally. He started having many casual affairs with women. He was not emotionally ready to commit again, and in this process, not only was he harming his own mental health, but he was also hurting the women he was with. Before this, Jim had been a committed man who would not have even imagined himself doing what he was doing now. Does this mean Jim changed as a person, or did the trigger bring this out in him? The latter is the truth. Jim is still the same one-woman man he always was, but his breakup caused such a big trigger in him that he went against his own belief systems and got into this bad habit. With the correct support and guidance, Jim can break this habit, as it is not who he really is, it's just a bad habit. This is an example of how a trigger caused a person to go down the wrong path. Let's turn this example to showcase how a trigger can be good sometimes as well. Jim got cheated on, and this trigger was like a wake-up call for him. He was upset, but he looked at the cheating from a different perspective. He thought of what led to his girlfriend cheating on him, and why was he in such a toxic relationship in the first place. With some retrospection, Jim realized that he needed to work on his self-esteem and uplift himself so that he could attract a partner who was good for him. So Jim joined a gym, started to focus on his career and personal growth, and overall changed himself for the better. This way, Jim turned the trigger into something positive. What we can learn from this is that the direction that our lives go is in our hands. Just because you form a habit that you are ashamed of or embarrassed of does not make you a bad person. Tomorrow, you can choose to remove this habit from your life and turn your life around, just like Jim. The trigger is the first step to the formation of the habit, and it can be something as simple as shaking your legs every time you get nervous. It is essentially the starting stage of habit formation. The routine. The routine refers to repeated behavior. We all have some kind of behavior that we tend to engage in every day. It can be shaking your legs when nervous, chewing on your pen when anxious, or going through Instagram posts when bored. These routines soon become habits, and that is the next and last part of the loop. The reward. Rewards are the positive outcomes obtained from engaging in a habit, or what a habit does for a person. For example, going for a jog every day or flossing your teeth are very good habits and reward you with a healthy body. However, watching videos on the internet for hours is another habit that rewards you with nothing, but instead plays a role in increased anxiety, obesity, or even depression. Your brain associates killing boredom as a reward, and this becomes a justification for the endless videos you watch, and soon it becomes a habit. I would like to share an example with you of the process of the habit loop. Emily is an alcoholic. She drinks almost every day. Her triggers are her stressful job, her fake friends, and her single status. She constantly worries about these things. And when she realizes that the downsides in her life overpower the ups, she resorts to drinking. Drinking puts her in a relaxed state, and she forgets about her problems for a little while. This habit has now formed a routine, because every time she is upset, she drinks. She even starts to hang around people who have a similar problem, because with them, she will not be judged for doing so. Emily's reward is the disappearance of stress and anxiety for a little while when she drinks. Emily is stuck in an endless loop, and even though she knows drinking is bad for her, she is using it as a means to escape. Emily first needs to recognize her triggers and identify them as problems. She then needs to think of why she is attracting fake friends into her life instead of meaningful relationships. She also needs to evaluate if her job is fit for her long term, or if she should look at different employment. Or she can look at the different ways through which she can reduce this stress. Once Emily starts looking for solutions instead of focusing on problems, she will naturally move away from her bad habits because she will actively try to make her life easier instead of drinking and thinking about how sad it is. Habits are just a decision away. This very second of your life can be consumed by a toxic habit, and the very next second you can decide to change your mentality and start to remove it from your life. I would like to share a personal example to help illustrate my point. Many years ago, I was addicted to smoking, and like Emily, I used my bad habit as an escape. I was smoking every day, and it started to take over my life. It also started affecting those around me. I realized one day that I had to stop before it got too late, and I developed a health problem because of it. I identified my problem and then took tiny steps to eradicate it from my life. I started to go out for walks on the beach when I was stressed, or engaged in an activity that I loved. In my case, golf. When I stopped depending on cigarettes for my happiness, I was eventually able to give up on them entirely. This is what it means to replace your rewards. You find another activity that you like doing, and then use it as a replacement for your bad habit. I would like to reiterate that you must think about your triggers, your emotional state, your friends, your location, or the time in your life which is pushing you toward the habit. Then focus on removing them. Your bad habits may not even necessarily be big or toxic. They can be small, as trying to quit coffee or trying to go to bed earlier. For a bad coffee habit, you can try replacing it with a cup of green tea or kombucha. For trying to go to bed earlier, you can try to stop using your phone at least 30 minutes before bedtime and instead read a book. Even though we may become our habits do not make or define us. There is a huge difference between habits and addictions. While habits are daily routines, addictions are much more than that. They are fixations that people have on certain drugs or behaviors which take over their lives entirely. The biggest difference between the two is in the choice. You can choose today to change your bad habit. However, a person with an addiction cannot function without their substance. We have looked at personal triggers that cause a person to form a habit. However, there are many more reasons, sometimes subconscious, that can make a person form a habit. It can be genetics or even your environment. We inherit what is passed down to us from our genes. Genetics can affect our predilection for sweet or bitter foods, our immunity, and our predisposition to certain deficiencies. Often you will see that if a person's parent was a heavy smoker or drinker, the child also forms that habit. It is, of course, a choice, but because of the environment, the child is much more likely to do it than a child whose parents are non-smokers. Columbia, 2015. Similarly, the environment we grow up in, our friends, our coworkers, partners, etc., all have an impact on us, knowingly or unknowingly. It is common to see people talk like their friends and pick up their habits because they spend so much time together. If you work in a company where the environment is not very work-focused, and most of your teammates waste time, then you will eventually start wasting time too. One step toward becoming the best version of yourself is to also surround yourself with the right type of people who have a positive impact on you and push you and yourself to be their best selves. If your group of friends is usually discussing growth professionally and personally, then you will find yourself thinking about bettering yourself as well. As you can see, habits can be positive or negative, but they do affect our lives either way. As you can see, habits are not always conscious decisions. One might argue that despite their environment, a person can choose to be different. That is true, but also arguable. A person who hangs out with people who are heavy drinkers might not drink themselves, but they are wasting their time with them and normalizing wasting their energy on mindless things. Each individual's journey to breaking habits is different. For some, it might take weeks, while others might relapse in a couple of days. What is important in the process of breaking habit is the intention and the very fact that the person is trying. Willpower is present in all of us, but on different levels. While some might find it very easy to control their urges, others might break their diets, fasts, etc. every other day. With the right intention and the desire to become a better version of yourself, even willpower can be developed. Never think that just because you are unable to break a habit that you are weak-willed or do not have the capability to change. The very fact that you are reading this book shows that you have the strength, will, and determination in you to change. It doesn't matter how long it takes, as long as you keep working at it. There is nothing in this world that is permanent. If we look at that in a positive light, it is a motivational thought. You hold the reins of your life in your hands, and you can guide it in any direction you want, even if it means taking a detour from time to time. Science and habits. Many habits, such as eating sugary foods, smoking, drugs, playing video games, spending excessive hours scrolling on social media, etc., can become addictive because when these habits are being performed, our brains are releasing dopamine. Dopamine makes us feel good and is the reward we get for performing this habit. This causes us humans to want to do that habit over and over again to feel good, and this eventually becomes addictive. This addiction then becomes a habit, and habits become even tougher to break. As we have learned in the previous section, to change anything, we must first recognize that something needs changing. One of the best ways to start your journey to forming good habits is to be mindful. To be mindful means to be fully aware of one's own self, one's surroundings, and one's feelings and impulses. You can then use mindfulness in the following ways to break old habits and start developing new and healthy ones. First, stop being embarrassed or ashamed of yourself for having a bad habit. If you overeat, overdrink, etc., you only need to be honest with yourself and accept yourself for who you are currently. Next, take a diary and write down all the times you indulged in the bad habit in a day. Then think about why you are engaging in this habit. Are you trying to avoid or forget something? Are you doing this so it can distract you from the reality of your life? Be honest when you write this down. This simple activity will give you a lot of clarity and answers. Now that you have become one with your habit, you need to fix it. Start small. Don't try to completely eliminate the habit all at once. Doing this will increase the chances of relapse. If you drink every day, start by limiting your drinks to only on the weekends, and then slowly decrease the number of weekends that you drink to fully eradicate the bad habit. Make meditation a daily habit. Meditation is the one sure shot to achieving mindfulness, and it also helps rewire your brain. Your brain's neural networks become accustomed and comfortable with bad habits, and meditation has a huge impact on the brain's neuroplasticity, aka habit creation. If you repeatedly meditate, your brain becomes stronger, and your process of breaking the old habits will become much smoother. There are many kinds of meditation techniques. You can start with mantra meditation, loving kindness meditation, or guided meditation. The next step is to be kind to yourself if you fail. Progress is different for everyone. You can be great for 2 days, then relapse for a week, or be great for 3 weeks, then relapse for a few days. It doesn't matter. Just the fact that you are trying is a big achievement. And with constant effort, your success is guaranteed. The most important thing is to be persistent. You might not be perfect, but consistency will take you to great heights. While you do the above steps, remember to keep giving yourself positive reinforcements by doing the following. In your journal, write down the reasons why you engage in a particular habit. It can be unhealed traumas, heartbreak, stress, or any other factors you think are contributing to the habit. Practice self-control. In the same way your body builds stamina and strength when you regularly exercise, your mind also becomes trained if you actively practice self-control. You can start by not eating sugar for 2 weeks, limiting social media to only a few minutes a day, or something along similar lines. Reward yourself. Give yourself a challenge, and if you are able to do it, then reward yourself for it. It can be anything you love: new shoes, clothes, or an expensive meal. This will help you build your self-control, and you will also feel accomplished. Replace the bad habits with positive ones. For example, drink a glass of juice instead of alcohol. Some other ways to replace your bad habits with good ones include: start making changes to your environment. If you decide not to drink for a week, then avoid going to the bar or to parties. If you want to stop eating sugary snacks, then stop buying them, or distribute the ones you already have. Find a motivational partner. You can turn your life around with another person. Your motivational partner can be a friend, partner, or anyone who you trust, but both of you should have one set goal. You can motivate each other, keep each other's spirits up, and not be lonely in this process. Change your company to good people who want to see you and themselves succeed. It is better to be alone than in the company of toxic and negative people. Remember the old you, when you did not have this bad habit, and strive to get back to that. This time, you will be new and improved. Start using the word but whenever you start to self-critique. For example, if you say to yourself, "I'm so useless. I have no control over myself because I smoke every day," add a bit to this thought. But I have joined a program and I am actively trying to stop, so at least I'm trying. It is important to understand that habits are nothing but science. The brain becomes comfortable, but with a few tricks, we can change its thinking. You might not realize it now, but bad habits start to take over one's entire life. Not only are you personally suffering, but the people around you are also suffering because they feel helpless. It affects your relationships, your career, and even your health. Everything that we do requires energy. If we release all of this energy into bad habits, then we ultimately gain nothing. Let me explain this with an example. Let's say there are two 18-year-old boys, Jake and Liam. They are both very good at basketball and want to play for the NBA. However, Jake is going through a phase where he parties all night, wakes up late, then has hardly any energy left for practice. He is skilled at the game, but his energy is drained out in alcohol, his friends, and staying up late. On the other hand, Liam is completely focused on his goal. He goes to bed early and rises early, follows a healthy diet, and focuses on getting better every day. It would not take a genius to understand who has a better chance of being selected in the trials. Repetition is the key forming any habits. As easy as it is to form a bad habit through repetition, you can form a good habit the same way. Just force yourself to do the habit you want to adopt and give yourself at least a month. You will slowly start to see it's becoming a natural part of your schedule. If you shut all your electronic devices off and go to bed by 10 p.m. each night, even if you don't go to sleep right away, you will eventually start falling asleep early because your mind is now focused on sleep. This will result in you waking up early every day and getting extra time in the day to do self-care activities, like cooking a healthy meal, exercising, and meditating. This is because we become the results of our habits, and so we need to be more intentional about what we do every day. We will be delving into further details about the importance of developing better habits in further chapters. I would like to conclude this chapter by stating that taking on unnecessary stress will not get you anywhere in habit development. Instead, live a relaxed, easy life and make those small changes every day, which will eventually take you down the path that is right for you. Chapter 2: Setting Achievable Goals. Without goals and plans to reach them, you are like a ship that has set sail with no destination. Fitzhugh Dodson. Now that we have learned about what habits are and why they are important, I would like to delve a little deeper into personal habits and introduce you to the concept of SMART goals. Just as the first step to self-improvement is self-reflection, the first step to improving one's habits is to first identify our own personal bad habits. Bad habits go beyond just unhealthy eating, smoking, or any other physical addiction. Bad habits can also be in the form of negative personality traits or thinking patterns. For example, constantly gossiping about people and spreading rumors, making lying a daily habit, acting like you have more than you own and showing it off just to impress people, being unable to say no, not taking yourself out of bad situations or relationships, getting angry or irritable easily, overthinking and ruminating, being overly self-critical, not showing emotional intelligence and empathy toward other people, crossing limits with your jokes or sarcasm, not sticking to your word, being overly rigid in your thoughts, not open to feedback, or being a control freak, being impatient. And the list goes on. We all have at least one of the above attributes. Some of us might even have half or more. Regardless of how many of these attributes you may or may not embody, there is nothing to be embarrassed about. Each of these reactions is often triggered by another problem that we are facing in life. For example, a person who was always bullied in school might grow up to be very untrustworthy and judgmental of people. Or a person who gets angry at the drop of a hat might be facing some terrible personal situation, the frustration of which they take out through anger. A person who constantly overthinks might suffer from anxiety, and a person who is very self-critical might have been body shamed all their lives. We as a world need to stop judging people and start being more accepting. This is not to say if you are stuck in a bad relationship where you are being bullied or hurt, you should continue to be in it. Not at all. There is a difference between facing personal traumas and taking them out on others. We all know when we overstep our boundaries, and some of us regret it later. So, when we know our shadow traits, we can work on removing them from our lives completely. A person does not necessarily have to start drinking, smoking, or overeating when they face tough situations. They can even choose to develop temporary personality trait that is not good for them or other people. The above bad habits are a direct result of trauma, but luckily, there are ways to heal from them completely. The first step is, again, self-reflection. You first have to think about your triggers. For example, what kind of people or situations make you uncomfortable or cause you to react in a certain way? You then think about what might be causing these reactions. Are your reactions related to what people are doing, or are they merely outcomes of your own past traumas? Triggers can range from stress to even boredom. Once you are able to narrow down what your triggers are, you will be able to fix your problem. Acknowledge the bad event happened to you and accept its reality. Sometimes when people go through very tough times, they push the event deep down in their minds so as not to think about it. They then form bad habits to keep themselves away from the harsh memories. If you feel that your bad habit, be it emotional or physical, is due to a traumatic event in your life, then you must first address that. Accept that it happened and try to replace it with good memories that you have. Your friends, family, and any other loved ones can help you out greatly in these situations. If you feel your trauma is too big to be healed on your own, consider going to therapy or talking to someone with more experience or maturity than yourself. You need to open up in order to heal. Start practicing self-care. Self-care is very easy to do, and it can be something as simple as listening to your favorite music, lighting an aromatic candle, taking a walk in nature, playing with your pet, exercising, eating nutritious foods, getting a massage, watching your favorite movie, or anything that gives you happiness and is good for you. It is natural to turn to bad habits when feeling overwhelmed, but you can instead choose to distract yourself with good ones. Start a hobby. There must be something that you have always wanted to try your hand at. Learning archery, learning poetry, or painting? If you do not know what you are inclined towards, then try everything until you find your calling. When you put your energy into something productive, then your traumas will start to subside on their own because your focus has now been diverted to something more substantial. The more physically fit you are, the happier you'll be. Exercise and a healthy body will make us feel confident. And exercise is a great solution to escaping from bad habits as well. When you start to work on your body, you will notice yourself not wanting to indulge in bad habits as much, because that would mean a waste of all your effort. Try journaling. Journaling puts things in perspective, and you will learn more about yourself when you do it. Spend time with your friends and family more often. Travel. As we have seen, bad habits can also simply be unhealed traumas. And by fixing how we respond to those, we can fix our bad habits as well. So do not be ashamed of your bad habits, be they physical or mental, such as getting angry all the time. Instead, focus on healing yourself, and you will see everything falling into place in your life naturally. I would now like to move on to the next part of our chapter, which is goal setting. To be able to do anything in life, you first have to set a goal. because it is only when you visualize something that you are able to achieve it. The same goes for breaking old patterns and habits. When you set your mind to breaking the habit, you have already taken your first step. The fact you're reading this book also shows that you're a goal-oriented person who is ready for change. To set a goal, you have to first identify why you have set the goal. What is it about yourself you want to change? Be clear about why you are doing it. By doing this, you're visualizing, and every time you feel like giving up, you will keep going because you have your intentions clear. Think about how your life will change after you achieved this goal. Will you be happier, more relaxed, stress-free? Think about all the changes that will happen to you and keep visualizing yourself in that top position. Keep track of your progress. If you are wanting to be fitter, don't simply go for a walk every day. Count your steps and then work on increasing them so that you see progress in yourself. Any change is going to be a roller coaster ride, and you will fall back. But it is those who pick themselves up again and keep going who ultimately achieve things. Every time you achieve a target, make sure you celebrate it. Remember the times you were not doing even 1% of the habits you are doing now. And be kind to yourself by celebrating them. Another mindset that you have to develop is that of accountability. You are the only one responsible for your own growth or for your own failure. When you start living with this mindset, you will start to focus on growth and improvement. Be your own light in times of darkness. If you're trying to give up on food, alcohol, or cigarettes, or any other consumables, then another strategy that you can use when cravings get the better of you is to find healthy replacements. So, if you feel like snacking on that donut, replace it with your favorite fruit. If you feel like having alcohol, replace it with mocktails, soda and fresh lime, or fresh fruit juice. Once you do this, you will kill your craving. You have to also keep adjusting your goals. When you start, you will naturally start small. However, when you have made a certain level of progress in achieving your goal, then you can challenge yourself so as to keep things interesting. For example, if you are trying to lose weight and have achieved your target of 10,000 steps a day for an entire month, you can now set a new target and start climbing inclined places or start trying new workouts like Pilates, swimming, or cycling. This way, you will never become the victim of monotony, and things will remain interesting. Developing a strong support system in these times is crucial. If you feel you do not have that kind of support in place, then consider joining social media groups where people are trying to change similar habit to you. Again, you have to be your own strongest cheerleader, but sharing your journey with other people can help you to remain accountable. Setting goals sets intentions, and these intentions then turn into actions. I would now like to introduce a very interesting concept, which is called SMART goals. I have found it to be one of the best methods one can use to invite change into their lives. SMART goals. If you feel you cannot set a goal for yourself or you feel confused about planning, then SMART goals are for you. No matter how big or small your goal is, these 5 steps will always work. SMART goals stand for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This is a goal-setting method that is great for people who are looking to achieve something new. Setting a goal for yourself is of the utmost importance when you want to achieve something, because if there isn't a clear finish line visible, then you may meander on to other places. For example, let's say Maria wants to lose weight and one day decides to give up on sugars and take out food completely. She can go strong for 5 days, but then starts to crave sugar. So when she goes out with her friends for drinks, she breaks her vow and indulges on some ice cream and cocktails. Maria's reasoning here is that she'll start again the next day, but another event happens the next day, and again her diet is broken. This is a common, never-ending pattern, and the reason it's never-ending is that Maria does not have a clear goal in her mind. If she had given herself 1 month to lose 5 pounds, then she would start to think differently. She would avoid going out to parties because she knows she would indulge. And even if she ended up going, she would make sure she avoids eating anything that would stop her from achieving her 5-pound target. This is what goals, like SMART goals, do for you. They are with you in each and every decision you take and help you stay motivated. There are 5 parts to SMART goals. Specific. Your goal should be as specific as possible, which is to say that your goal cannot simply be, I am going to exercise and lose 20 pounds. Instead, it needs to be as detailed as, my goal is to lose 20 pounds in 3 months, and in order to achieve that, I am going to start by going to the gym for 30 minutes a day, cutting down on carbs and sugars, and start preparing my own meals. The more specific your goal is, the more clarity you will have in your own mind about it. Measurable. You have to decide how you will measure or track your progress. For instance, in weight loss, you track your progress by checking your weight and measuring your inch loss. If you decide to give up smoking, then you can measure by tracking how many cigarettes you use to smoke per day, how many you do now, and how much time the quantity is decreasing. Attainable. Your goal has to be achievable. If you set unrealistic goals for yourself, then you will be rewarded with nothing but stress and disappointment. Look at your progress, and then mold your goals to be the ones that are suitable for you. For instance, if you used to smoke 7 cigarettes a day before starting your journey, and after 6 weeks you're down to 6 cigarettes a day, then your goal cannot be to give up smoking in 2 months. It needs to be stretched out according to your comfort and ability. Relevant. Your goal needs to be in alignment with your beliefs, morals, and comfort levels. For instance, if you want to lose weight and your dietitian puts you on a keto diet, which you are uncomfortable with, then you will likely not stick to it. The journey to break a bad habit is already hard. You cannot make it harder by doing things you do not wish to do. Time-bound. Lastly, your goal must be time-bound. Only then will you stick to your routines and try to achieve your goal. You can use SMART goals not only to develop a new habit, but also to achieve career, spiritual, financial, and relationship goals by following the same 5 steps. There are many advantages of setting SMART goals, including that doing so helps develop a growth mindset, gives one a sense of direction, helps one develop cognitive abilities, decision-making, and planning skills, increases focus, makes you more aware of your strengths and weaknesses, increases motivation, increases the chances of you achieving your goal because your goals are well planned, builds one's confidence, makes one mentally stronger and builds resilience, increases your performance as you wish to be better than you were the previous day, gives a feeling of satisfaction and accomplishment. I would like to end this chapter with an example of a big SMART goal. Let's say there are 3 co-founders of a new beverage company, Harry, Jack, and Larry. Their company sells flavored coffee drinks, and recently they have been given a big order for a large corporation's vending machines. The SMART goals for our 3 co-founders to carry out this order would be specific. Their plan needs to be as detailed as possible. They need to focus on the number of bottles that will be produced, returned, that will have to be restocked, and their target monetary growth within a specified amount of time. Measurable. Since they run a business, this is the most important factor, as it shows the monetary value that is being produced in the business. Attainable. Since this is the first time they are launching in a major corporation, they cannot be overly ambitious. There will be a lot of feedback that they will have to quickly work on. For example, which flavors are selling the best, the flavors that are disliked, whether or not the cost is suitable, what salary range is buying their bottle, and other factors. Relevant. They need to respect the company and run a socially responsible business. This can be done through their packaging by using no plastic bottles, putting a recyclable bin beside the vending machine where people can dispose of their bottles after finishing their drink, etc. Time-bound. Their business is highly competitive and can easily be challenged as there are numerous other beverage companies. Hence, all their goals need to be practical and time-bound in every way. If they have to make changes in their product after feedback, then they need to have a set plan for this as well. No matter what you wish to do, setting a goal is very important, as this goal will hold your hand in your journey and make it much easier. Always remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. Take your time and go easy on yourself. Chapter 3. Breaking Bad Habits. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Will Durant. I would like to now tap into understanding why bad habits persist and how one can break out of those shackles. Any habit that forms is a result of repetition. This is true for most behaviors, not just bad habits. Every bad habit or activity that humans learn results from repetition. After doing it multiple times, you then become accustomed to it, and this activity becomes more habitual. For example, if you are learning how to swim, then you will first need to get over your fear of water. Once you jump in, you need to flap your arms and keep going in order to stay above the water. The more you swim, the easier it becomes for you, and after a while you start to feel comfortable in the water. It's all about repetition. Practice makes perfect because practice forms habits, and habits then become routine. I would now like to tap into a little science on habit formation. Our brain has a region called the basal ganglia, which is the habit formation part of the brain. This region is also responsible for our memories, pattern recognition, and for the development of emotions. There is another important region in our brain called the prefrontal cortex, which is the decision-making part of the brain. It has been found that regularly doing an activity makes a person go into autopilot mode. This means that these behaviors become so automatic that we do not need to think about them. For example, we wake up, brush our teeth, take a shower, and get ready for work. All of these are behaviors repeated every day, so the brain almost shuts itself off while performing these activities. This means that during these times, one can think about other productive things. However, this pattern is broken if one is traveling or is on vacation because your brain is forced to take itself out of the routine. We touched a little in the previous chapters on how boredom, stress, and other emotional states contribute as triggers to habit formation. I would like to now delve a little deeper into this. Emotional states have a huge impact on why bad habits form. It can also be attributed to the people we surround ourselves with and the situations we are in. One continues to stay in a bad relationship where the love, respect, and conversations have faded away, or one does not leave a toxic family who belittles them at every given chance. Why is this? Why do people not leave situations where they are not receiving anything positive? It is because those relationships and surroundings become habits. The person has become so habituated to, dependent on, and comfortable in their toxic relationship that even though they are suffering, they do not leave. It's hard to leave and start anew, but that is where real strength lies. People hold on to bad relationships and surroundings because they are afraid to be by themselves. They mold themselves and sacrifice so much that they push what's toxic and wrong for them somewhere deep within themselves and continue to suffer, but do not leave. Sometimes people don't know that they are being emotionally abused because society does not talk about these things. Society also has a toxic mentality of ride or die, where no matter how bad the relationship is, one needs to stick around or risk being called unfaithful. It is important to trust one's intuition and feelings in an uncomfortable situation, no matter how connected you feel to someone. If they make you feel unloved, unworthy, or unsure, then you must realize that they are a bad habit and you need to find the strength to leave. Another big factor that contributes to bad habits is boredom. People have nowadays become so detached from each other that most of them are spending their time away from each other in their homes with their phones. The lives of people have become mundane, and most are stuck in endless loops, with sometimes a yearly vacation. Boredom then makes us look for escapes, and these escapes can sometimes be harmful to us. People might overindulge in food, cheat on their partners, spend unnecessarily, or do other things that they would otherwise not, had they not been so idle. These escapes can easily become habits because our brains, in times of stress, look to them for relaxation and to feel better about oneself. There are many other ways that you can overcome boredom. Pick up a creative habit. Our right brain is our creative side, while our left brain is more logical. Most of us use the left side, but forget to tap at all into the right side of the brain. An imbalance is then created, which results in feelings like boredom, restlessness, and general dissatisfaction with life. You do not have to be an artist to be creative. Remember, as children, when we were asked to draw in class, we never sat and thought about what we would make or how it would turn out. We simply drew and painted whatever we felt like drawing and painting. You can try the same even now, and who knows, you may actually find a hidden talent. You can try your hand at painting, coloring in adult books, drawing, knitting, writing a song, poem, or story, crocheting, pottery, gardening, cooking, dancing, learning a musical instrument, acting, scrapbooking, nail art, filming, jewelry making, candle making, photography, origami, DIY activities, learning a new language, meditating, woodworking, and the list goes on. There are endless activities to choose from, and you can try all until one clicks with you. Start to journal. Journaling is a brilliant way to reason and think about things logically. Through journaling, we reveal our own honest emotions and are able to better understand our own thoughts. Journaling has also been said to reduce anxiety and depression. For example, if you are someone who is going through a tough time in your relationship and you feel confused and helpless, but do not feel comfortable sharing your thoughts with another person, then you can try journaling. You can write down the pros and cons, and putting down your thoughts will actually help you understand your own emotions about the situation better. Many of us face boredom in our workplace because our jobs can get monotonous. We do the same tasks all year round, and this makes us lose interest in our jobs. This can lead to poor job performance and a need to escape. However, no matter the kind of job you have, you can always try to make it more interesting by taking initiative. You can take initiative to try and do your job in a more inventive way, or come up with new ideas to help improve your workplace. You can also try to learn the tasks of another department that has always caught your eye. No one stops a person who wants to improve, so take that first step. This will show effort, which is something that will always be appreciated by your managers. For example, let's say Leah works in the filmmaking industry as an assistant director, where she is tasked with handling actors. Leah has come into the industry to be a creative director, but has been doing her uncreative job for the past 5 years. Leah does not get time to work on her own projects, and is on film sets most of the days, handling other people's schedules. This has made her lethargic, and she has now even started to lose interest in film. What Leah needs is a change in the way she does things. She should continue working as an assistant director, but must also actively take out time from her job to work on her own ideas. She should meet the people who work as creative directors on film sets and learn more about their job. She can also offer to help them out with their work so that she can learn and build connections. Just by implementing these minor changes, Leia will take a step forward in her career and may one day even get an opportunity in her desired field. Go on an adventure. Almost everyone in this world likes to travel. When you visit a scenic place, be it mountains, the ocean, or even a desert, you instantly become rejuvenated as you connect with nature. A trip breaks the monotony in your life, and you get to indulge in your favorite activities. You must try and take at least 2 trips in a year, if not more. Life is much more than simply working and taking care of yourself or your family. You must live for yourself, and if you feel that your partner, spouse, or family do not share the same enthusiasm as you, go for a trip alone. Solo trips are empowering and make you connect with yourself. You visit amazing places, meet new people, and try things for the first time. When was the last time that you tried something new? I strongly believe that we must live our lives with the mindset that we must constantly be trying something new. Joy is not a thing that simply comes into one's life. You have to actively create joy, and when you start living life with that mentality, you will notice yourself becoming more content with your life. If you feel bored and see yourself indulging in bad activities, then one thing that you can try is mindfulness. I would like to now also share a few easy mindfulness techniques that you can practice on your own. Focus on your breathing. Sit every day for 15 minutes and take deep breaths slowly. Let your mind wander and simply observe your thoughts without acting on them. It will be hard at first, as it is a new feeling and experience. However, be patient, and slowly this will start to help you. The same process can be done by focusing on bodily sensations, emotions, and your senses. For example, when taking a shower, use scented body soaps and feel the water hitting your body and feel its temperature. Go out for a mindful walk in a nearby park, forest, beach, or any other scenic destination near your house. When we usually go out for a walk or run, we are oftentimes not actually enjoying the outing, but are instead thinking of some work or personal life matter. To practice mindful walking, you need to be one with the nature around you. Feel your feet hitting the ground. Feel the wind brushing your hair. Feel the sun on your body. And notice the sounds and sights of nature around you. Practice mindful eating. We usually eat our food while watching television or when talking to people. However, what you have to practice is mindful eating. To do this, you have to sit alone with your food and focus on its taste, texture, smell, and comfort it gives you. You simply have to be aware. When you are with someone you love, such as your partner, parent, child, friend, or any other person who you are close to, try to be completely present with them. This means do not look at your phone and be distracted by worldly things. Instead, enjoy the moment you have them and live in it entirely. There are many known benefits to practicing mindfulness, including that it lowers your stress levels because it increases the activity in the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for control and attention. Helps in emotional balance, which makes one better deal with emotional situations. Builds resilience to any kind of psychological stress. Reduces anxiety and depression symptoms. Can slow one's aging and even prevent diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. Can help someone trying to recover from physical pain. Makes you sleep better. Improves concentration. We will be delving deeper into meditation practices in the coming chapters as well. Push yourself to become more social. You can join various groups which cater to your own activity preferences, such as book clubs, drama classes, dance classes, or any other activities. These are a great way to meet like-minded individuals, and sharing similar interests with others will always work to your benefit, because you will connect on the same topics. The friends that you make in these classes can also become good friends for life. You can also connect with old friends who you lost touch with due to life commitments. Who knows, maybe they too need a friend. And there is no harm in extending a hand at friendship. Emotions such as stress, boredom, and other heightened feelings can push us to indulge in other habits so as to oppress the emotions and protect ourselves. Indulge away, but in good habits, like the ones mentioned above. It is very important that one be mindful of the bad habits one indulges in, and then proactively tries to change them. We are all very aware of our bad habits, and it is only when we come face to face with them and accept them that we can take a step forward to overcoming them. And this can only be done through self-reflection and introspection. Some of the common bad habits people use as an escape include physical, overeating, lack of sleep, or staying up till very late, lack of exercise, smoking, alcoholism, substance abuse, or even something as simple as not drinking enough water in the day. Mental, doubting one's abilities, constant negative self-talk, having unrealistic expectations, perfectionism, overthinking, jealousy, resistance to change, etc. We discussed how our various emotional states can affect bad habits and the impact this can have. It is very important for us to also discuss the reasons for these varying emotional states. External stimuli, such as work-related stress and even the people we have in our lives, can lead to the formation of toxic habits. The people we have in our lives unknowingly affect our thinking and habits largely. You may notice that if you spend a lot of time with a certain person, you pick up on their way of talking, or a few of the words that they constantly use. Similarly, the people we choose as partners can either make or break us. It is very important to rise in a relationship. There should be constant support and positivity, even in tough times. If you have a partner who is constantly criticizing you or looking down on you, then somewhere along the line you will start to see yourself in that negative light. On the other hand, if your partner is someone who pushes you to be the best version of yourself and also works on yourself, then you will find yourself in a healthy and long-lasting relationship. It's not just partners who can influence our behavior. Even our parents, friends, co-workers, bosses, siblings, or any other relationship that we have in constant touch can affect us greatly. Their thoughts do blend in with your thoughts, and you start to think alike. Let me explain this with an example. Say a 17-year-old teenage boy lives with his parents who are constantly criticizing him for not being perfect enough or doing well enough. This behavior has gone on throughout his life, and it has made him a young man with low self-esteem and low confidence. This pushes him to try drugs, as that is a sort of an escape for him from reality. What the world will look at is that the boy is ruining his life with drugs, but the pressure that had been building up throughout his life which led him to drugs will completely be ignored. Sometimes we do not want to believe that our loved one might be hurting us. However, all of us have an intuition that we must trust, as that will always tell us when a person is becoming toxic to us. When we realize this, we must distance ourselves. Most bad habits are not formed because there's anything wrong with the person who has them. Rather, it is an external stimuli that push them toward it. If this stimulus is removed, then eventually so will the habit. We need to become more mindful and aware of our own thoughts and actions. The best way to do this is to make mindfulness a constant in our lives. Remember, your mind is the only constant with you, so make it a place of calm and peace. The best way to avoid relapses of these bad thoughts is by keeping yourself busy and focusing on improving yourself. Try the various activities I have mentioned in the previous pages, and remember, the most important thing is to not be hard on yourself. You do not carry the weight of the world, and you are not at fault because you are unable to remove a bad habit from your life. Give yourself a break and start loving all aspects of yourself. Once you start your journey of breaking bad habits, remember to give yourself small rewards. In fact, these rewards can even push you to achieve your targets. There is a term called accountability partner. These are people who are trustworthy and who you can discuss anything openly with. It can be a family member or friend, or if you feel that you do not have anyone like that in your life, then it can even be a friend you meet in a support group. Often strangers can be more supportive and helpful because they have nothing to offer or take from you. For example, if you are trying to lose weight, then you can join forums where people openly discuss their weight loss journeys, talk about their achievements, and they also discuss places where they falter. Your accountability partner is not someone who will offer opinions or be judgmental. This is simply a person who will support you no matter what. The strongest benefit of having an accountability partner is that you will never feel alone and will know that someone has your back and fully supports you. Hence, choose them wisely. Having said this, you can do without an accountability partner as well. Start a journal and share your journey and progress with the journal. It will give you clarity, and your journey will also remain secret. Always give yourself a prize or reward when you achieve a set goal. To the world, losing a few pounds might not be a big deal, but for you, it may mean the world because you remember the time when you would overeat and not even get up from your bed. It's only you who truly knows yourself and your journey, and so it should be you who rewards yourself for it as well. Everything takes time, and so will breaking your bad habit. Do not compete with anyone else and become a horse with blinders on. You will have relapses, but those will not matter in the long run if you keep bouncing back from them. There is nothing in this world that will come without its setbacks, as it is those that teach us the biggest lessons. You need to maintain a growth mindset and remember to only look at the bigger picture. Envision yourself having achieved your target and imagine the different ways in which your life will change once you lose that bad habit. Keep reminding yourself of how life was when you were at the bottom and just maintain a growth mindset. This will be one of the toughest things you do, but trust me, it will be worth it. Chapter 4: Creating Positive Habits. Chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. Warren Buffett. Developing positive habits should not be like an exam that you have to pass. They need to perfectly fit into your lifestyle to make your life easier. If you're trying to suddenly make lots of changes to your lifestyle and implement too many positive habits, then eventually you will fail, as instead of creating positivity, these will eventually become an added pressure and inconvenience. Positive habits will look different for everyone because each individual has a different lifestyle, surroundings, preferences, and temperament. So one set pattern cannot fit everyone. Take, for instance, a person who wants to lose weight. We cannot give them the same fitness routine and diet to different individuals. A lot of factors like age, sex, work, and lifestyle come into play. However, even if all these factors were the same, a similar diet and fitness routine might not work for two different individuals, because they have their own preferences and abilities that would have to be kept in mind. For example, let's say there are two 28-year-old men, Raul and Stephen, who want to give up drinking and are trying to chalk out a way to do so. Raul works as a full-time financier, while Stephen is a full-time stay-at-home dad. Raul started drinking socially due to occasional parties and networking events that are part of his job, but it soon became a habit. Meanwhile, Stephen has had an on and off relationship with drinking since his teen years. Raul's daily schedule includes waking up at 6 a.m., making breakfast for himself, and leaving for work at 9 a.m. He comes back in the evening by 6:30 p.m., after which he hits the gym and then goes to bed. However, every night before bed, Raul has to have some whiskey, and on the weekends, he is out partying and getting drunk in the evenings. Stephen, on the other hand, is a stay-at-home dad to his 7-year-old daughter, and his schedule works around that of his daughter. He wakes up at 5 a.m., gets breakfast ready for his wife and daughter, and then drops his daughter off at school. He is a part-time writer and does that during the daytime before picking his daughter up from school. The evenings consist of taking his daughter to sports class and playdates. Post 8 p.m., Stephen spends time with his wife, and it is only after 10 p.m. that Stephen gets time for himself. His drinking time is his me time, and he is so dependent on it that he cannot get a good night's sleep if he does not indulge. The two men have very different lifestyles, and recommending the same plan to both of them would not work. What we need to look at here is why Raul and Stephen are resorting to drinking when they have seemingly happy lives. Raul has a successful career, and Stephen loves being a stay-at-home dad. However, one striking similarity between the two men is that they are not taking out any time for themselves. For Raul, it is all work, and for Stephen, it is all family. Raul can start utilizing the weekends as his me time, where he goes out hiking or even on dates. He must also look into limiting his drinking to the occasional networking events and cut off the friends who take him out clubbing every weekend. These are big lifestyle changes, but once Raul removes these external stimuli, he will naturally see a change in his drinking patterns and slowly be able to quit completely. On the other hand, Stephen must try and find a hobby that he loves to do and use his me time to pursue it. Being a parent is nothing less than a full-time job, and Stephen must take some time out on the evenings and weekends for himself. It is all about priorities and finding the time out from your own schedule. We all have 24 hours, but it is how we divide them that makes all the difference. Hence, like Raul and Stephen, our good habits also must revolve around our own personal values, goals, routines, and preferences. Choose habits that you know you will be able to follow through with, and that you would like to do. Wisely choose your positive habits, and then actively pick them over the bad routines. When you start to prioritize positive habits above negative habits, you will see many changes in your life. Increased confidence. Ever experienced great joy and confidence after exercising? This is because our bodies release endorphins, and we feel a sense of accomplishment and happiness in ourselves. Similarly, when you build a routine for a good habit, you will feel more confident in yourself. Increase in self-discipline. Following a daily routine full of good habits such as practicing yoga, meditating, eating healthy, and exercising increases your self-discipline. This ability then also helps you in other areas of your life, such as your career, and you will be able to accomplish even more in them. Increased productivity. Adopting good habits, such as limiting your social media exposure, will naturally increase your focus. Nowadays, people are on their phones every second they get free. The algorithms in these social media platforms are designed in a way that makes them addictive like any other bad habit. Increased happiness. When you live a life full of self-discipline and joy, you naturally become more happy and more fulfilled. You can also practice writing in a gratitude journal. This will help you become a more grateful and kind person. Increased emotional stability. With good habits comes self-control, and self-control results in a person becoming more in control of their own emotions. No matter how hard a situation is, if a person can control their reactions, i.e., their emotions, then they will become stronger and more self-confident individuals. Increased energy levels. Living a balanced life where healthy eating, sleeping, and exercising are involved will result in one becoming more energetic. This person will then not have to rely on temporary energy sources such as caffeine. Once you become content and happy with yourself, then you will be able to help your surroundings as well. It is said that the healthiest relationships are those in which both partners are happy with themselves. Similarly, in life, you can be a better partner, parent, coworker, or child when you become content on your own. You will be a kinder and happier person, which will result in you developing stronger relationships and connections. Good habits will also help increase your physical well-being as you will prioritize your body. This will strengthen your immune system and will also make you more energetic and active. Your professional life will flourish as you will become more goal-oriented and hardworking individual who knows what they want. Among other factors, often anxieties and depression are also a result of a person being unhappy within themselves. When deep inside we know that we are not living up to our full potential, we can become more anxious and stressed. Therefore, when we focus on our goals and work toward them, we become more stable mentally, as our energy is being focused on the right path. You can strategize your positive habits by following these simple steps. The first step is to set goals which will be achievable to you and then tracking your progress daily. Increase the intensity of your habit gradually. Do not try to give up on something entirely, suddenly, as that would not be realistic and would not last long. Fit your habit into your daily routine so that it can be easily practiced and does not have to become an added stress. Join a support group, have an accountability partner, and make sure to surround yourself with like-minded people. Learn from your mistakes, get up after you relapse, and celebrate the goal achievements. Chapter 5: The Art of Visualization and Mindfulness. Visualization. Visualization is the process of creating pictures in your mind of yourself enjoying what you want. When you visualize, you generate powerful thoughts and feelings of having it now. The law of attraction then returns that reality to you, just as you saw it in your mind. Rhonda Byrne. Visualization is imagining what you want in life and thinking about it in great detail. If you want to become a successful swimmer, for example, then you have to imagine yourself around a swimming pool with the perfect swimmer's stroke. You can even go further and imagine yourself wearing a gold medal in swimming and your loved ones cheering for you. Once you visualize this, your brain makes a mental image of it, and you then subconsciously strive to achieve this image. Visualization is a form of manifestation. Manifestation is another term which gained a lot of popularity in recent times. The general belief is that if you think about something often, you will eventually attract it into your life. This belief is true, but manifestation is more scientific than you thought. When you want to manifest something in your life, your thoughts, actions, and beliefs all start to change to fit into what you are trying to manifest. This can be negative or positive. For example, let's say Claire has a superstition that if she forgets her car keys early in the morning, her day usually goes badly. This thinking of hers has formed because of maybe one or two incidents where she did forget her keys and then her day coincidentally also had a lot of downsides. However, this is of course not always true. Claire will now unconsciously do things that will result in her day being bad, through things like her reactions and assumptions about even minor things that might get heightened because she has that thought stuck in her head that she had forgotten her keys early in the morning and is thus going to have a bad day. Claire manifested this, and even though it is false, it becomes her reality. Manifesting can also be used positively. If you wish to achieve something in your life, then you will try to manifest it. Your thoughts will not actually draw the thing into your life. However, you will become more self-confident, and your belief that you can actually achieve the thing because you are manifesting it will make you work harder and think more positively. Manifestation is also done by praying to God, the universe, or any other higher power that one believes in. The simple ways to practice manifestation are: start your day by being grateful for all that you have in your life. You have to start thinking about yourself positively. When you do this, you believe in yourself more. And oftentimes, the world looks at us the way we look at ourselves. If you truly start to manifest confidence in your life, then it will reflect in your daily actions. Put whatever it is you are trying to manifest in your life out into the universe. You do this by either making a list of what you are trying to manifest or by constantly talking about it with a loved one. Once you have done the above steps, the next obvious thing to do is actually take the first step into making your dream a reality. So if you're wanting to become a gold medalist in swimming, you have to start with taking care of your health, eating well, and exercising. Learn to be patient with yourself. Everything takes time, and once you truly start believing in this, you will not be burdened with anxieties. Visualization is similar, and manifestation and visualization actually go hand in hand. I would like to share with you some easy steps that will help you in your visualization process. The first step is to sit in a quiet corner of your room where you will not have disturbance for at least 10 minutes. Now take deep breaths and calm yourself, and start to imagine the life you want. Go into even minute details, so imagine how you look, the location, what you are wearing, who you are with, and what you have achieved. Do this daily, and not only will you visualize it, but this is also a form of meditation, as you will feel much calmer after you do this. Scientifically, visualization works because when you imagine achieving something, your brain creates neural networks that make it seem that you have already achieved it. This activity stimulates your nervous system, and you have better chances of succeeding than someone who is not visualizing and simply grinding. Visualization can have a huge impact on one's life. Its benefits include improved performance. This happens because when you visualize, focus becomes a part of your routine, and an increased focus means guaranteed results. It can help with anxiety. Visualization can help you calm down because no matter what situation you are facing in life, by imagining yourself in a better situation, you will feel much calmer. You will realize what you truly want in life. When you actually sit and think about what would make you happy, you will learn more about yourself. You can reduce stress levels. You do not necessarily have to go into a quiet corner every time you wish to visualize. It can be done when you are taking a break from work, while traveling, or during any other free time that you get. Stress levels are reduced because you are focusing on the positives and ignoring the negatives in life. Visualization is another way to get rid of bad habits and invite new, good ones into your life. If you are on a weight loss journey, then imagine yourself at your target body weight, and imagine the kind of clothes you would wear, how you would act, and the things you would do once you achieve it. Visualization can also be practiced when making SMART goals because it will help you get better clarity into what you want and why you want it. You can start visualizing even the tiniest things. If you are someone who struggles to make friends, then imagine yourself walking up to a group and introducing yourself. Think of the things you would say to them, and slowly you will build more confidence. Then, the next time you are in a situation similar to this, you will be more confident because you have already visualized it. It is a sure-shot method to achieve success. And more than anything, it does not take any effort. You simply have to imagine. You can do this even before going to bed. Set aside some time daily for visualizing, as doing it daily will make you a more positive and confident individual. Mindfulness. The Merriam-Webster definition of mindfulness is the practice of maintaining a non-judgmental state of heightened or complete awareness of one's thoughts, emotions, or experiences on a moment-to-moment basis. We have touched upon the basics of mindfulness, but now I would like to delve a little deeper into this topic. Mindfulness is simply being aware, and when one does this on a regular basis, the structure of the brain changes, and one becomes more aware and calm. In mindfulness, one has to be kind to oneself and let our thoughts simply be. Mindfulness is not to be confused with meditation, even though the two practices have the same objective and goal. No, Mindfulness is a way of being as opposed to something that you do. You can be mindful while walking, eating, or working. Its intent is to bring back your focus when your mind wanders. On the other hand, meditation is done through specifically taking time out of your day and focusing on either a mantra or nothing at all. Meditation is more intensely focus-based and is a practice that takes time to develop. On the other hand, you can start being mindful at this very moment. To start being mindful, you can do the following steps. Take out time to specifically practice mindfulness. This way, it will be easy to make it a routine. Make sure it is in a quiet room without any distractions. Let your mind wander and simply be an observer. The main objective is to keep bringing your mind back to the present moment whenever it wanders. Do not judge your own thoughts, no matter what they are. You can also focus on different parts of your body, starting from your toes to the head. This helps release tensions and anxieties. There are various types of mindfulness meditations, including spiritual meditation, mantra meditation, chakra meditation, and yoga meditation, among many others. You can start with visualization meditation, as the steps and process are readily available on YouTube. Or you can join a meditation class, which is another great way to overcome boredom as well. Be it mindfulness or meditation, these two practices are in fact backed by science. It has been observed that when a person meditates on a regular basis, the brain, which is made up of neural connections, increases its activity and strengthens these connections. The more repeatedly you do it, the stronger that part of the brain becomes. It has also been observed that meditation increases the gray matter density in the hippocampus and the frontal regions of the brain. It also increases anterior insula and cortical thickness, which leads to better cognitive abilities, aids in learning, and improves memory. Boynton, 2020. The benefits of mindfulness include increased self-awareness and self-control, aiding in the breaking of old patterns and forming new habits, reducing one's cravings and compulsive behaviors, reducing anxieties and depression symptoms, helping patients recover from pain, making one a generally happier person. There are many other mindfulness meditations that you can practice as well, such as yoga, tai chi, and qigong. These activities specifically concentrate on increasing mental and physical well-being. It is of utmost importance to take out time every day if you are to make mindfulness a habit. Take a step toward this activity and then slowly make your home a place where mindfulness and calmness are present. Chapter 6. Habit-Forming Exercises. Self-reflection. Self-reflection is a much kinder teacher than regret is. Prioritize yourself by making a habit of it. Andrina Sawyer. Most of us live our lives in such a constant routine that we do not even notice when life passes us by. From grade school to college, to work, to marriage, to kids, to retirement, most of us will follow this set routine and never take out time to truly understand what makes us happy. If the COVID-19 pandemic taught us anything, it was to take a pause, to stop and truly think about our lives. The pandemic saw many people quit their jobs, for marriages to end, and for people to go down paths that they would never have found had nature not forced them to sit at home and think. The world has become so fast-paced and competitive that activities like self-reflection and giving oneself time has become a luxury. Most people are only working to keep a roof over their heads and are truly not able to live life or even understand who they are and what they desire. Self-reflection is all about sitting with your own thoughts and thinking about the various aspects of your life, your work, your relationships, and your dreams and desires. Think about your job and what changes you could make in it to make yourself happier. Think about if you think you could do this job for the rest of your life, and if not, then jot down the reasons why. Think about your relationships and see where you could improve them. A very common reality in today's day and age is the fear of commitment. People do not wish to be tied down, and hence remain in relationships for long periods of time but do not commit, which ultimately leads to breakup. This ends up hurting both partners who could have used those years to find a more fulfilling relationship. When you self-reflect, also think about your dreams and desires. What is it that truly makes you happy to be alive? Is it traveling? Is it having and raising children? Is it your work? Is it helping people? Think about this, and if your job is different from your desires, then start working on the desire as a side hustle. Maybe take out time on the weekends to pursue it. While the above can be done once in a while, daily reflection can also be practiced to constantly keep improving yourself. If you recently got upset, irritated, or did something you regret, then sit down with yourself and really think about what made you react the way you did. Was it the situation, or was it the frustration of something else in your life that came out in that form? When you do this, you will understand yourself better, and next time you will be able to better control yourself if triggered. For example, say a person in a friend group has started to criticize everyone and question their choices. This friend is now bringing the energy of the group down and seems to be taking her emotions out on all of them. In reality, this friend has just found out that her partner has cheated on her and she is facing the dilemma of confrontation. If this friend sits and thinks about her situation, then she will realize that she is bleeding on people who have not cut her, and that she should step up and confront the correct person. By doing this, she becomes more self-aware and will watch her mouth next time instead of hurting her friends. Like this, self-reflection can also be used to improve your relationships. Relationships are ever evolving, and partners are constantly trying to adjust to each other and learn more about themselves. Self-reflecting on the relationship can help one communicate their wants and ideas to their partners better, which will lead to a healthy relationship. This can also help one in a toxic relationship. Reflecting on how one is being treated can give one the clarity they require and motivate them to take the necessary steps toward either ending the relationship or confronting their partner. Self-reflection is not to be confused with introspection. While the two have a similar objective, self-reflection is more about learning more about yourself through analysis of one's own thoughts and feelings. On the other hand, introspection is a more direct approach, which involves the direct examination of one's own mental and emotional state. When you self-reflect, you understand yourself and your emotions better, and this can even help you when you're dealing with stressful situations because you would know exactly how to react because you have previously given it thought. Self-reflection helps a person grow as a person, partner, friend, and colleague, and to overall become a better person. There are many benefits to making self-reflection a part of your routine, including it can help you with growth in your career and also help you achieve your dreams as you become aware of what you want, which helps you achieve it. It can make you a better communicator and better deal with confrontational situations. When you understand your triggers and drawbacks, you can actively avoid putting yourself in situations that may bring out the worst side of you. It can help you truly connect with yourself and your soul. And once you do this, you are also able to better connect with other people. It connects you with your values, and because of this, you avoid doing things that would end up causing you distress. And you also learn to say no. It connects you with your wants and needs, not just in terms of your career, but also what you want in a relationship, the kind of partner who would best suit you, and where you wish to go with your life. Getting clarity on these matters prevents you from wasting your own time. It forces you to think about big picture things, and when you think of your life from that perspective, you do not waste your time on trivial matters. It can make you come face to face with your fears and insecurities, and then you can actively work to diminish them from your life entirely. It makes you a better decision maker because you do not get distracted by ifs and buts and other people's opinions because you know what you want. It helps you reduce anxieties and stress because you have your life organized and you get a feeling of being in control. It makes you a better person, and this helps attract better people in your life as well. You become more self-accepting, self-aware, and self-compassionate. You get better sleep at night because your mind is clear and free of any tensions and worries. Self-reflection is a sure way of getting to know yourself better, and in the process, self-improve, seeing growth in your career, and also become a more well-rounded individual. Journaling. Journaling helps you to remember how strong you truly are within yourself. Asad Mea. Another form of self-reflection, which we have touched on previously, is journaling. To journal is to simply write down your thoughts on paper, and as you write, you will start to self-reflect, as you will share your thoughts and ideas without fear of being judged. A daily journaling experience can leave you in a more relaxed and happier state because you let out all your thoughts, anxieties, and stresses on paper. There are various types of journaling for you to choose from, including gratitude journaling. This type of journaling focuses only on the positives that have happened to you throughout the day. While gratitude journaling, you have to list the things that you are grateful for every day. It can be as simple as being grateful for having access to healthy food, for your car continues to work, or for the weather. There's nothing too small or mundane to be grateful for. Daily reflections. This journal is like talking to a loved one about your day, where you openly express how you felt and behaved the entire day. You can vent, express happiness, or share any feelings that you have openly, as no one is judging you. This kind of journaling is good to identify your own triggers and is a great way to learn more about yourself. Brain dumping. This type of journaling is fun and does not have any set rules. You simply have to open your journal and start writing whatever thought comes to mind. Do not self-filter and let your thoughts openly come out on the paper, no matter what topic they are about. Planning journaling. This is a to-do list that you can write for the week or even maintain on a daily basis. This helps you be more efficient and even stops you from being lazy, as you will feel compelled to tick off the tasks. Prompt journal. This is a journal designed to help you think. It has various questions that you would be forced to think about and write. Prompts can look like, what suggestions would you give your 10-year-old self? Or, what would you do if someone told you that you only have 24 hours left to live? These are fun and a great way to get started with journaling. Art journaling. This is for artists or even people who simply love to doodle. This method of journaling is a way to use your drawings and paintings to express your thoughts instead of words and letters. Future self-journaling. This can be journaling you do every year and then reflect on it the same date next year. Write down your goals and the things you wish to do and accomplish in the coming year. You can even try this for 6 months and make changes as you see fit. Mind map journaling. In this type of journaling, you use mind maps or visual maps to organize your thoughts. For example, your main point can be something like, should I leave my job? Then draw 2 different options, one prompting a yes and the other a no. And then go on like this until you reach a conclusion for both these options. This will give you clarity as you will be able to see which option has more weightage. I would suggest everyone journal at least once a week, if not daily, to understand oneself better. Journaling helps one get more clarity on their thoughts. Journaling organizes your thoughts and you understand yourself better. Journaling helps you achieve goals as it gives clarity on what you want, and that can help you chalk out a plan on how you will achieve it. Venting out on your journal can help reduce your stress and anxieties a great deal. It will help boost your memory, as while writing your day down, you are reliving it. It can help you become more creative and even help you become a better writer. Help you in your journey to remove bad habits from your life, as you can easily track your journey through journaling and work to improve if you stumble. Self-reflection and journaling are some of the best habit-forming exercises that can easily be practiced at home and are fun to do as well. Incorporating exercise and physical activity. I strongly believe in the power of everyday physical activity. This can be hitting the gym, dancing, boxing, playing a sport, or any other activity which makes your body sweat. Whether you are someone trying to adopt a good habit or not, the exercise of at least 30 minutes daily must be compulsory. Exercise puts you in the best shape, and you feel confident about yourself. However, what many people do not realize is that exercise does not just heal you physically, but it heals you mentally as well. When one engages in physical activity, the brain releases a feel-good chemical in the body called endorphins, which makes one instantly feel energized and happy. Hence, doing this on a regular basis would make you a happier person than someone not exercising at all. Due to the release of such feel-good chemicals like endorphins, the mind also releases any stress, anxiety, and pressure that it had. The best way to get started with exercise is by first planning a fixed time that you will exercise every day. This will put you in a habit loop, and it will be easier for you to adopt exercising into your daily life. Next, you must select the form of exercise that you feel happy doing. It can be one physical activity that you do every day, or even varying exercises. There are endless options to choose from, and if you choose one that you truly enjoy, then it will be easier to make it a habit, and then even increase the intensity. The next step is to set a target for yourself. How many days will you exercise a week? For how many minutes every day will you exercise? If you are trying out a new sport, then think about how long it will take you to reach at least an intermediate level. Chalking out a plan and your objective to exercise will make it easier for you. You can also use apps and trackers which will help you keep track of your progress and improvements. If you feel strange exercising alone, then you can start by joining a gym. It can be a runner's group, dance classes, a sports class, or any other form of exercise that you resonate with. Making exercise an everyday routine is a must for you, as it will help you in the following ways. It will make you feel happier because of the feel-good chemicals like endorphins that are released in the body. It can help with chronic pain, as endorphins are also a natural painkiller, and when you exercise, you strengthen your muscles, which helps you avoid any serious injuries. It makes you feel more energized, as exercise increases your heart rate, which makes the blood flow better. This, in turn, releases more oxygen and nutrients to your muscles, which results in higher energy levels. It will help you sleep better because exercise reduces anxieties and tensions, which are one of the main causes of people staying up late. Your brain becomes more sensitive to serotonin and norepinephrine, which results in the reduction of depression-like symptoms. It strengthens one's muscles and bones. Exercising releases hormones that make it easier for muscles to absorb amino acids, which results in strong muscles. It can help with chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease, and also help people with high blood pressure and cholesterol. It boosts your brain health. Exercise helps in increasing blood flow to the brain, which results in a reduction in inflammation and an increase in the production of hormones, which increases brain cells. It will improve your skin quality. Exercises increases antioxidants in the body, which protects cells from oxidative stress and free radicals. Because exercising makes you feel more energized, it can also help you become more productive, which results in better job performance as well. Exercise leads to a stronger heart, muscles, and better flexibility, which improves one's sex life. It will help keep your weight in check. It increases longevity. It helps you with self-esteem issues and makes one more confident in themselves. It can help with addictions and even aid when you are trying to give up a bad habit. It improves your immunity. It sharpens your memory. It can help with body image issues. It will take time for you to get started and get on a regular routine. However, soon you will start looking forward to exercising because you will notice a positive change in your mood and thinking patterns. Chapter 7. Staying on track and achieving your full potential. First, we form habits, then they form us. Conquer your bad habits, or they'll eventually conquer you. Rob Gilbert. It is easier to start a new activity, but tougher to stay consistent. Most of the people in the world make resolutions on January 1st, but soon let them go by the second or third week of the same month. Building healthier habits and a better lifestyle for yourself is not a one-time decision. Rather, it is a decision that you have to take and work on every single day. It is only those who are consistent, no matter how slow, who go for the long run. As I have mentioned earlier, it does not matter if you start small. What is important is that you stay consistent after you decide to do something. This is where most people falter and why breaking bad habits becomes such a huge task. What is motivation? In simple terms, it is a push that a person gets from within to perform a task when they wish to achieve something. Motivation is the only factor that will take you anywhere you want to go in life. Motivation can come in different forms and can be different for each individual. For some, motivation may come from being bullied when younger and now wanting to prove themselves. For others, motivation can come from wanting to make a better lifestyle for their families. For many of us, money could be motivation. All of us have something that we wish to achieve, and the first step in doing that is finding the motivation to do so. When you find yourself lost or confused, think about your future self who has everything that you wanted and make it a driving factor. The future version of yourself can be the biggest motivator for you. It is only when we have a driving factor that we get the urge to do something, and hence, it is the first step when trying to form a new habit or achieve any goals. Motivation is also something that you have to constantly work on. Rewarding yourself when you reach a certain target can be a motivation for you to keep going to achieve even higher targets. There are two types of motivations. Intrinsic. This form of motivation is when a person does something solely for themselves. It's when you do an activity because you feel like doing and because it makes you feel good. The driving factor in intrinsic motivation is satisfaction and not an external reward. So you play a sport every day because it makes you happy, or you keep your room clean because you feel amazing doing so. It is a self-driven motivation that requires no external stimuli. Extrinsic. This form of motivation is when a person is pushed to do something because either the rewards or fear of punishment. The person does not feel inclined to do it and gets no happiness from doing so, but they have to because it is good for them. For example, a student hates to study but has to so as to pass and earn a degree, or a child has to clean their room to avoid being scolded by their parents. Oftentimes, when forming a new habit, you will have to use extrinsic motivation. You do not wish to give up eating sugars, but you have to because you need to lose weight, or do not want to invite diseases into your body. Or you have to go to sleep early because you have to go to school the next day. Extrinsic motivation is not necessarily negative, because even though it is not coming from within, it is leading us to something that is good for us. To keep yourself motivated, you should have a support system who wants to see you as your best version. These people will keep you motivated and keep reminding you of why you are doing what you are. Keep reminding yourself of why you are doing what you are. Think about the negatives of your bad habits and use that as a catalyst. Think about your personal goals, i.e., how your life will look once you achieve your desired outcome. Make a vision board that has pictures of all that you wish to achieve and keep it in a place in your room where you can see it every day and find motivation. Never compare your journey with others, as everybody has a different pace. Always remember to keep forgiving yourself if you falter, and to give yourself abundant self-love. Use your setbacks as fuel to do even better the next time. Make sure you have a backup plan if you face any obstacles. You should have thought of all possible scenarios and how you will deal if any pop up. Do not worry if you stumble and go days without doing anything significant to achieve your goals. Always remember to look back and see how far you've come, instead of worrying about how far it is you have left to go. Be kind to yourself and only let positive thoughts into your mind. Conclusion. The secret to permanently breaking any bad habit is to love something greater than the habit. Bryant McGill. As we approach the end of our book, I would like to share a little summary of all that we have learned. Breaking bad habits will definitely be one of the hardest things that you will do in your life. However, with consistency, motivation, and clarity, you will be able to achieve all that you want in your life. In this book, we learned about the importance of visualization, having a clear picture in your mind about what you want and how you see yourself in the coming few years will give you the required motivation to actually turn the thought into reality. When visualizing, always keep in mind your values, interests, and the skills that you possess, as it is very important for us to dream, but it is equally important to be realistic. As you travel in your journey to becoming the best version of yourself, you will notice that you may need to readjust and revise your goals to suit your current life. Life is a continuous lesson, and habits will come and go. What is important is for us to constantly want to improve and strive to be happier, more successful, and more confident versions of ourselves. Take the challenges that you face as lessons, and no matter how many times you fall, always rise up again. To do this, we have to maintain a positive mindset, no matter how tough our situation is, and maintain self-belief and positive self-talk. This will build confidence, which in turn will give us a winning mindset. It is also very important to use this growth mindset in one's daily life, as it will make decision-making much easier for us. Always be on the lookout for new opportunities and be open to new experiences. It is only mud that settles, and not a person. Keep moving and keep striving ahead. Live your life with a mindset that you are worthy of everything you want in life and that you will achieve it. Surround yourself with like-minded people who wish to see themselves grow and are also self-improving. Make sure to maintain a journal and track your progress, as that will keep you grounded and will give you more clarity about what it is you wish to achieve. I hope that this book was able to guide you and give you clarity. I want you to never lose hope and never back down. Everyone goes through a rough patch in their life, and it is only us who can bring ourselves out of it. Do not be hard on yourself and give yourself time, love, and patience, and you will soon start seeing yourself becoming the best version of yourself. Thank you for reading this book, and I wish you the best with everything that you wish to achieve in this life.